सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। So we were in the fifth Brahmana of the fourth chapter, which is again a repetition of Maitreyi Brahmanam with a few modifications. Okay. So here we have come to the last Kandika in the Maitreyi Brahmanam, and this is a very highly quoted section also. Bhashyakara quotes this in many places. यत्र हि द्वैतम् इव भवति तद् इतर इतरं पश्यति तद् इतर इतरं जिघ्रति तद् इतर इतरं रसयते तद् इतर इतरं अभिवदति तद् इतर इतरं शृणोति तद् इतर इतरं मनुते तद् इतर इतरं स्पृशति तद् इतर इतरं विजानाति. Okay, so yatra dvaitam iva pashyati or dvaitam iva bhavati. So dvaitam iva is the most important word here, because dvaitam is not really there. It is as though dvaitam if it is there, then only one can see another thing, correct? Then only when there is a subject object division, the subject can cognize the object, subject can see the object, subject can smell the object, subject can taste, rasayate, correct? Or you can talk about something, the object, abhivadati, or you can hear, itaram, tad itara itaram shrinoti. So one can hear the other, or one can think about the other. Itara itaram manute, itara itaram sprishati means you can touch, or itara itaram vijanati, you can cognize the other object. So there has to be a division, subject-object division. Whenever there is dvaitam only, all these things are possible. But the dvaitam is eva, that is the most important thing. Dvaitam is mithya, it is only an appearance. So where dvaitam appears to be there, all these things are possible. But then where it is not possible, yatra tu asya sarvam atmaiva bhoot. So, but where yatra va asya sarvam atmaiva bhoot was there in the second chapter, here it is yatra tu, but not a big difference in the meaning. So, whereas where this atma alone is there, let us say, correct? For that person, asya here, atma alone is there. Means there is no subject-object division. Subject-object division is not real. There is no subject or object. The subject-object and all is there because of your identification with the anatma. If the anatma itself is known to be mithya, that it is not there really, it is all asat only, correct? Then what? For that person, there is no identity with the subject anymore. And there are no separate objects also, because every object is really speaking, correct? That is not separate from me. My is alone is appearing as the object is. That is the sarvatma bhava we are talking about. So for the one who has the sarvatma bhava, sarvam atmaiva bhut means what? Basically, the one for whom everything is atma, correct? So this same vision is talked about even in the Gita 6th chapter, in the Ishavasya Upanishad also it comes, correct? So for the yogi, for whom all this is atma, means everything is there in the yogi's atma, and yogi's atma is the atma of everything else. Like that it is said both ways. Okay. So that person, what is he going to see with what? Kena kam pashye. So with what instrument he is going to see what? There is nothing correct. This Brahmarpanam, Brahmavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So if you recall that Gita verse, this is called Karaka Upamardana, correct? Every Karaka is Brahman. It is all Vadayam Samanadhikaranyam there really. There is no Karaka really separately. All that is there is Brahman alone. And that Brahman is not separate from the Atma. Therefore, Sarvam Atmaiva Bhut. For that person where there is no Karakas, there are no separate Karakas anymore. Everything has now become Brahman. In your drishti, Brahman alone is there. There are no separate Karakas. Then who is going to see whom? Okay. Kena kam pashyet. Or who is going to smell whom? Kena kam jigret. Kena kam rasayet. Who is going to taste whom? Or who is going to taste what? Okay, any object. Kena kam abhivadet. Who is going to talk about something else? Kena kam shrinuyat. Who is going to hear something else? Tat kena kam manvita. Who is going to think about something else? And tat kena kam sprishet. Who is going to touch something else? Finally, tat kena kam vijaniya. Who is going to cognize another object? Because there is this subject-object division itself is not true. There is no reality to that. Only Atma alone is real. All this subject-object duality also comes and goes, correct? Anything which is coming and going is all only Nama Rupa. It is all Mithya. It is all Anrita. So the conscious entity alone is the reality, which is the unchanging, invariable in each and every cognition. And that once one understands, I am that, and I am Satyam, everything else is Mithya. So for that person, all these activities are not possible because I am not a Karta Bhokta. Again, correct? This Kartritvam, Bhoktritvam itself is there only because of the identification with Anatma. Once that identification is gone, once you understand yourself as the limitless conscious being who is not restricted to one single body, you are not an embodied consciousness, really speaking. That everything is in you. So you are the body for everything, maybe we can say like that. You are the abode of everything, we can say, correct? The space-time itself is in you. You are not in space-time. That is the vision here. So for that person, all these separate activities are not real. They are not there, really speaking. So, yena idam sarvam vijanati, tam kena vijaniya. So by which all these things are known, correct? That consciousness, which itself can never be objectified, correct? So how are you going to know that? You can never know it as an object. That is the whole idea here. Because you are that. You have to be only, correct? You have to be. That is the thing here. Being alone is the thing. You cannot know it as an object because it is not separate from yourself. You have to rest as yourself, correct? You have to be, and that's it. There is no question of to be or not to be also. Even that question comes to whom? That you are that and you are always there. The being in whom everything has its abode. So that sarvam yena idam vijanati, by whom everything is known. How are you going to know that consciousness? It cannot be known as an object. Okay, here up to this point, almost it is similar to what was there in the second chapter, fifth Brahmana, fourth Brahmana. But here, additionally, Shruti is also putting certain things because it is the Upasamhara, correct? It is completing the teaching here. So it says, Sa yesha neti neti iti atma agrihyaha na grihyate ashiryaha na hi shiryate asangaha na hi sajyate asitaha na vyathate na rishyati. So now additionally this part is there. Whatever I read now, Sayesha neti neti iti atma. So whatever we are talking about, what are we even talking about? Means it is about this atma. which has to be arrived at only as neti neti because it is not an object. Correct? You have to you have to negate all the objects, whether it is tangible or intangible. That's why there are two na is there. Correct? Na iti, two times. Why? Because you remember there is a murta brahmanam even in the second chapter. Murta and amurta. Murta means that which has a form, tangible, you can say. Amurta is formless or intangible, or you can even consider it as known and unknown. All the known objects, all the unknown objects also. Everything you reject as not this, because the Atma cannot be an object. Whatever I know is not I. Correct? Or whatever I can know, whether you know it or not is different. Whatever is the knowable is not I. And therefore, I am the one who is the avadhi, nisheda avadhi, correct? After negating everything, whatever is left out is that self alone is there, which cannot be objectified. And it has to be known as it is. Okay? That is the beauty of this knowledge. And that self is agrihyaha, na grihyate. You cannot grasp it. Even physically also you cannot grasp it. Even mentally you cannot grasp it. You cannot grasp it. You cannot grasp it through words also. Correct? Because it is a not an object. That's why it is also called as this aprameya and all we say, correct? That which is not knowable through any means of knowledge because it is not an object of knowledge. That doesn't mean it is not there. Understand that. It's not shunya. It is yourself, the paripurna atma. So that neti neti atma, that is what is called neti neti atma. Neti neti atma is the atma which is arrived at after negating all objects, all knowables. And that atma itself cannot be grasped. Okay? Na grihyate, because it is agrihyaha. Similarly, since it cannot be objectified by anything, it cannot be destroyed also. It doesn't decay because it is unchanging. And since it can never be objectified, it cannot be destroyed. So ashiryaha nahi shiryate. So shiryate means that which decays or disintegrates and all that you can say. This atma is partless whole and it can never be objectified by anything. Therefore, it never disintegrates, never decays. It's not subjected to time, in fact. If anything is subjected to time, it will decay in time. But this atma never changes and therefore never decays or disintegrates, or it can never be destroyed also. And also further what asangaha nahi sajyate, it is not attached to anything, associated with anything, connected to anything. It is unconnected. It is in its own glory, you can say. This atma is a glorious thing and it is shining in its own glory, unconnected to anything else. Asangaha asitaha na vyathate na rishyati. Again, it cannot be hurt or injured and all that. Okay, it cannot be in any way affected by anything. Okay, so it is not in any pain. It cannot be in any pain, in fact, really. That is the nature of this atma. In fact, the problem of a human being itself is the fear of, there's a fear of suffering and all that, correct? But this atma is beyond all suffering. That is the beauty. That is the greatness. That is the freedom. In fact, you are free from all suffering. In fact, you are already free from all suffering. You have to only own it up. Correct? Such a great relief, correct? Such a great leisure you get knowing this self. So it cannot be compared with anything, in fact. So na vyathate, na rishyati. Okay. And vijnataram mare kena vijaniya. This portion is there even previously. So from this neti neti the atma to na rishyati is there newly here. Okay, in this chapter it is added. And again, finally, what he says, Vijñātāram Hare Kena Vidaniya, the one who is the knower of even the knower. Correct. The seer of the sight, knower of knowledge, hearer of hearing, all this. Correct. How are you going to know that Vijñātāram Hare Kena Vidaniya, by which you will know, because it can never be objectified. And therefore, that's how you have to. So, only way of arriving at this Atma is Neti. Again, we have to go back to that. And this is the teaching. So he says, no, this is the final teaching Yajnavalkya gives Maitreyi. Maybe he saw her and he could see that she also understood that. Okay. So that is the beauty of teaching in front, correct? In online and all, nobody even switches on video. So we don't know anybody whether you are understanding or not and all that. That's okay. The hope is that you all understand. Okay. See, anybody should understand this Vedanta. It's not that difficult, really speaking. If it is taught properly according to the teaching methodology and the tradition, it is something which is sulabha only. It is easily understandable. It is nothing great, in fact. But whatever it gives you is the greatest, correct? But Vedanta gives you the limitless itself. Therefore, this is the teaching. Ukta anushasasi, anushasanasi. Means now Yajnavalkya says, hey Maitreyi, you are you are the one to whom this teaching has been said or told. This teaching has been revealed to you, and he is able to see her, I think, and she has understood that. And so he says, finally, no, you ask me first, what is this Amritatvam? So he says, it is this much only. Etavadare khalu Amritatvam. So you know this Atma in this manner, you have gained immortality because this Atma is not subjected to space time. It is Ananta. It is the self of all, really speaking. It is everything. And therefore, this is the Amritattvam. This much only is Amritattva. Whatever Amritattva you asked for, I have taught you, I have given you that. Therefore, what? Now, he originally said he wants to take Parivrajyam, correct? So he leaves. So he says, Kalu Amritattvam iti ha uktva. So having said this, indeed what? He leaves. Yajnavalkyaha vijahara. He left. He left because he anyway wanted to take sannyasa and go correct out of this grihastha. So he left. So with this particular Brahmana is again over. So now Bhashyakara is writing here. So what is he saying? Here he has written a lot of Bhashya because again he is taking up the Purva Paksha of all this karma kandis. Okay. Those who say that karma has to be done, sannyasa should not be taken, all these things. So anyway, he's first giving the meaning. He's saying Chaturshu api prapatakeshu eka atma tulyaha nirdharitaha param brahma. So only one atma, param brahma. Correct? This atma alone has been ascertained in all the 4 chapters, whatever we have seen till now. Correct? Eka atma tulyaha nirdharitaha. It has been clearly ascertained. And as what? This atma is nothing but this param brahma. So this is the one uh, which has been revealed by the Shruti, and it has been ascertained very clearly. There is no doubt in that. But even though the subject matter is one and the same, it has been taught in many different ways. That's what he's saying now. Upaya visheshastu tasya adhigame anyascha means anyascha means what? different ways in which this has been taught. Correct? For you to understand it, tasya adhigame, for making it understood, it has been the upaya, different techniques, methodologies, different ways have been handled here. Anyascha, various ways in which it has been taught to you. Okay. And upeyaha to sayeva atma, but whatever is revealed, whatever is taught is the same thing. The teaching may be in different ways, but what is taught is this atma alone again. That is the Vishaya here, correct? The Prakrita Vishaya in the Upanishad is atma alone. And further what? Yaha chaturthe. Athata adeshaha neti neti iti nirdishtaha. Okay, Chaturthe, when Bhashyakara says, it is actually the second chapter here, because he is going by the numbering in the Shatabata Brahmana. So he says fourth. But here they have given correct 236. So Athata adeshaha neti neti. So in 2-3 itself, this neti neti adesha was given. And then starting from there, then again this Atma alone is discussed. Okay, so he says Saeva Panchame Prana Pana Upanyasena Shakalya Kevalkya Samvade Nirdharitah. So starting from there again we had this Maitreyi Brahmanam, Madhu Brahmanam, and then the third chapter Munikanta started. There Yajnavalkya is talking to many many people, and then finally he talks to Shakalya. Okay, and with Shakalya again there is a there is a big discussion, and there is even this wager on his head itself. Murdhate Vipatishati and all he says. So your head will fall off, and then his head also fell off, in fact, finally. And the thieves take it away and all that. If you go back, you can read that. So that also we saw Shakalya Yajnavalkya Samvada. In that it was ascertained, the same Atma was ascertained there, okay, as this Param Brahma. And then again what? Punaha Panchama Samaptau Punarjanaka Yajnavalkya Samvade Punaha Iha Upanishad Samaptau. Okay, again what? This this Janaka Yajnavalkya Samvada again happened. Okay, in the Panchama means in the third chapter. So, and even fourth also here. So with this the Upanishad is coming to an end, and through all this the same Atma was revealed, Atma was taught. And now what? Chaturnamapi prapatakanam etad atmanishtata na anyaha antarale kaschidapi vivakshitaha arthaha ityetad pradarshanaaya ante upasamharaha. Okay, so in all these 4 chapters, Chaturnamapi prapatakanam, this Atma alone is to be established, correct? This Atma alone has to be taught. So Atma Nishtata alone is the main thing. Okay. Nothing else is the subject matter here. Na anyaha antarale kaschidapi vivakshitaha arthaha. So there is no other subject matter or other meaning which has to be taught here. This Atma alone has to be, or Atma alone is the subject matter. In this only, all these chapters are establishing their teaching on this Atma alone. And to show that it etat pradarsanaya, so to show that very clearly, again and in the end, this upasamhara is done. This ending note or whatever you can say, correct? Finishing summary is given. And what is that? Sayesha neti neti ityadihi. So Bhashyakara is just telling you why this neti neti was again introduced here, correct? I told you this was not there in the original, in the Maitreya Brahmanam which we saw before. So this portion has been added here again up to this Rishyati. So that is what he is saying. That is mainly for this Upasamhara, to show that the same Atma, the Neti Neti Atma which was started there, is the one which was talked about all through. And again, now we are concluding it in the concluding remarks also. Same thing. By using the same phrase, the Shruti is making it very clear. That is the point Bhashyakara is making. So, Sayesha Neti Neti Ityadihi. So, there is no other subject matter. Why? Because if you give us little bit told, the karma samuchayavadin will come. He'll say, no, no, your jnanam alone cannot give moksha. You have to do jnana karma samuchaya and all that. So that's why Bhashyakara is very painstakingly is saying this. So he says, Yasmat prakara shatenapi nirupyamane tatve neti neti iti atma eva nishtha. So you can use many different ways, okay, to teach the reality, okay. to arrive at the reality, to ascertain the reality. Okay, in different ways you can do nirupanam, but finally what? You have to arrive at neti neti only. This Atma has to be arrived at like that because it cannot be objectified. There is no other way. You can do different ways of adhyaropa. Finally, you have to do apavada of everything. And whatever is the apavada avadhi, correct? Whatever is left out after negating everything, that is this Atma. And that's how you have to arrive at it. There is no other way. The nishtha has to be in this manner only. Na anya upalabhyate tarkena va agamena va. So whether you use logic or whether you use agama, the Veda, this is where you have to end up. Because see, I have told you that many people say that there is no truth. Truth cannot be defined. Truth is a pathless land. All these things they can say and confuse you. But the tradition is very clear. That which can never be negated is truth. This definition nobody can break. And even if they say there is nothing like that, we simply say the negator can never be negated. And therefore, that is the truth. And the negator, how do you arrive at the negator? By negating everything else. Whatever is left is the negator alone will be left finally. And that negator is neti neti atma. So that's all it is. So whatever arguments you give, it's as simple as this. You can give 100,000 arguments. You can read all the Siddhi Granthas, all kinds of Granthas, whether it is modern science or ancient philosophy, whatever it is. Finally, you have to arrive at this. There is no other truth. Therefore, what? Tasmat Etadeva Amritatva Sadhanam. Therefore, this alone is the Amritatva Sadhanam. This Neti Neti Atma. Like this, you are arriving at, correct? You are established in that. That alone is the Amritatva Sadhanam. Because you have to finally know yourself as the conscious entity who is the Pratyagatma, who is the innermost self, and who alone is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. There is no other way of knowing it, and no other way of gaining this Amritatvam also. So, Etadeva Amritatva Sadhanam, Yad Etad Neti Neti Iti Atma Parijnanam Sarva Sannyasascha. So, this Neti Neti Iti Atma Parijnanam means what? Knowing this Atma in this manner, fully, completely, as so you know yourself as the Paripurna Atma. And again, what? Sannyasa also is a upaya for this Atma Nishtha. This Jnana Nishtha, for that Sannyasa is an upaya, because anytime you are involved in activity, it is only reinforcing Bheda, the Karaka Bhedas. Without the Karaka Bheda, no Kriya is possible, correct? Without the factors of action being there and the distinctions amongst them being there, there is no possibility of any activity or action. But this Atma Jnanam itself has arisen by destroying all these factors of action, correct? They have all dissolved. They have all resolved into this Atma. Therefore, sannyasa as a lifestyle is the most, let us say, conducive for this jnanam. So, Bhashyakara says, and even Upanishad also is saying this, correct? This whole story is about Yajnavalkya taking sannyasa, and he has finally left also. Vijahara, Upanishad has said. So, Bhashyakara says, this Atma Jnanam and sannyasa, they are the ones which are being revealed here. So he says, iti etam artham upasanjihirshan aha. Upasanjihirshan means upasamharati, he said, correct? The same, the san pratyaya, for those who are interested in grammar. So upasamjihirshan means desiring to conclude in this manner. You can say the meaning in English, okay? It says like this, that neti neti atma and all that, and this alone. So this etavad eva also is important. Understand that this alone, this much alone is the Amritatva Sadhanam. So by putting that evakara, nothing else is required. That is the most important thing you have to understand. Jnanam alone is enough. This neti neti iti atma, like that, this atma parijnanam you have. That is good enough. You don't have to do any other karma, any upasana, nothing else. this Atma Jnanam does not depend on anything else to give its phala to you. That's why this Evakara also is very important here. This much alone is the sadhana, is the means for this. So desiring to conclude in this manner, the Shruti is saying what? Etavat, etavan matram bhashyakara. So this alone, this only, yad etad neti neti iti, Advaita Atma Darshanam. So what alone means? The Advaita Atma Darshana as neti neti, that alone. So what? Idancha anya sahakari karana nirapeksham are maitreyi amritatva sadhanam. So this jnanam, this darshanam, without the aid of anything else, correct? Anya sahakari karana, any other cause or reason is not required. That means why he is saying this again? Because we don't need to do any karma. After gaining this Atma Jnanam, you don't have to do Shirasasana or anything, or you don't have to do any meditation. Because nowadays everybody is into meditation. They talk about meditation as an independent means for moksha itself. So there are many confusions are there. So this Jnanam alone is the karana for moksha. Nothing else is required for Amritatvam. Jnanam alone is enough. No other aids are required. Anya sahakari karan nirapeksham, without depending on any other cause. Okay, any other aid. This alone is the Amritatva Sadhanam. Hey, my dear Maitreyi, Are Maitreyi, like that he says. And so again, Bhashyakara is linking her question with this answer. So he says, Yet Prishta, Prishta, Prishtavati Asi. So the whatever you asked, correct? Prishtavati Asi, Yadeva Bhagavan Veda Tadeva Me Bruhi Amritatva Sadhanam iti. So she asked, whatever Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan, whatever you know as the Amritatva Sadhanam, you tell me that. Like that you asked me, you were the one who asked. Tat etavadeva. So that Amritatva Sadhana is this alone. Like that, iti vijnayam tvaya, you have to understand, you have to know that this alone is the Amritatva Sadhanam. Iti ha evam kila Amritatva Sadhanam Atmajnanam priyaye bharyaye uktva yajnavalkyaha kim kritavan. Okay, so thus, in this manner, indeed, the Amritatva Sadhana, which is Atmajnanam, having said it to his dear wife, correct? Priyaye bharyaye, having said that uktva, what did Yajnavalkya do? Kim kritavan means yat purvam pratignatam. So originally in the second Kandika, in this Brahmana, he said what? Pravrajishyan asmi. So I want to take this Parivrajaka lifestyle, correct? That's what he is interested in. So I want to become a Parivrajaka. That's what he said. So Pravrajishyan asmi iti tat chakara. That's what he did. He went away. Vijahara Pravrajitavan ityarthaha. So Vijahara means he left. He became a Parivrajakaha. He started wandering. So with this what? Parisamapta Brahma Vidya Sannyasa Paryavasana. So this Brahma Vidya is now concluded along with this sannyasa, correct? Ending in with this sannyasa, the Brahma Vidya also is concluded along with this sannyasa. And this alone is the teaching. Yetavan Upadeshaha, Yetad Vedanushasanam, and this is also the teaching of the entire Veda. Yesha Paramanishta, so this is the ultimate end, you can say. There is nothing greater than this. There is no other thing. You are Kritakrityaha now. You have achieved everything which has to be achieved. All the desires are you only, correct? Apta Kamaha, Atma Kamaha. So there is no other end which is greater than this. Yesha Paramanishta, Yeshaha Purushartha Kartavyata Antaha iti. And also what? It is the end of the Purushartha. Because as a Purusha, you desire so many things. Purushena Atyate iti Purushartha. Whatever is desired by people, by human beings, is called Purushartha. That is categorized also. But in that also, whatever is to be done to achieve all your desires, now you have achieved, you have concluded that. There is nothing else to achieve anymore. All that is to be achieved has been achieved. Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. Like that in the Gita also Bhagavan says. In the second chapter itself he says that. So what is the use of a pond when there is a flood everywhere? Like that, once you have known Brahman as one's own Atma, what is the use of any other object? There is no question of having any desire for any objects and all these things. What of all these limited objects? What will I do? In fact, they are not separate from me. In fact, in reality, there is nothing to be desired, and you don't depend on anything for your happiness. You are the source of all happiness, in fact. So that way, it is so oshnute sarvan kamaan saha. Like that, the Taittiriya Upanishad also says, correct? Sarvan kaman saha ashnute. Saha, there is yugapad. You attain with this jnanam. Simultaneously, you attain all your desires. All your desires have been fulfilled. Therefore, you have come to a conclusion of your Purushartha itself. Whatever is to be done to attain all your Purusharthas, that is also done. So now with this, Bhashyakara has concluded the bhashya, but now he is taking up a new vichara, new analysis. So he says, Idani vicharyate shastrartha viveka pratipattaye. So now again I am doing one vichara now, one analysis for understanding the meaning of the Shastra, correct? Properly. Viveka Pratipatti. Again, with reference to that, to have discriminatory knowledge, we are going to do one more analysis. What is that? So, yataha akulani hi vakyani drishyante yavat jivam agnihotram juhyat yavat jivam darsha purnamasaabhyam yateta kurvanneveha karmani jijivishechatam samaha etat vai jaravaryam satram yadagnihotram ityadini ऐकाश्रम्य ज्ञापकानि. So there are so many vakyas are seen, okay, like this. What? Yavat jivam agnihotram juhyat. Until the time you live, you have to do agnihotra, okay. Similarly, yavat jivam darsha purnamasabhyam yajeta. Till the time you are alive, you have to do this new moon and full moon ritual, correct? That is called darsha purnamasa. And then what? Even the Ishavasya Upanishad says, Kurvan neveha karmani jiji vishet. So you desire to live 100 years. Shatakum samaha. Shatam samaha jiji vishet. So you desire to live for 100 years. For what? For doing karma. Okay. Kurvan neveha. For doing only karma, you desire to live for 100 years. Like this the Upanishad says. And again, Shatapatha Brahmanam also says, Etat vai jaramaryam satram yad agnihotram. So this agnihotra is the one, is the satra here, means it is the sacrifice or the ritual. This indeed you have to do till the time you have jara and you die also. Jaramaryam. So till in old age also you have to do, till the time you die you have to do this agnihotra. So in like this, ityadini aikashramya jnapakani means what? They are only talking about one ashrama. That once you get into this grihastha till the end, you keep doing karma. There is no escape. So like this, the Purva Pakshi has already argued, if you remember, correct? They say that the Nitya karma can never be given up. Why? Because the only qualification for that is you should be alive. Yavat jivam agnihotram juhuya. So the only qualification is that if you are alive, you have to do. There is no other qualification or no other requirement. So the vidhi applies if you are alive. So how you cannot take sannyasa? Like this argument we have already seen. So something. So what Bhashyakara is saying, there are many vakyas like this, which are only talking about the grihastha ashrama, and also till the time you are alive, you have to do karma. But there are other vakyas also in the Shruti itself. What is that? Anyani cha ashramantara pratipadakani vakyani. So there are other vakyas which are talking about other ashramas. Okay, ashramantara pratipad. They are revealing other lifestyles. Let us say, what are they? Viditva vyuthaya pravrajanti. So having known and also having grown out of all your desires, correct? Yeshanatrayam vyuthaya, then Prabhrajanti, having known this Atma and getting and giving up the desires for Putra, Vitta, and Loka, etc., you you take to a life of sannyasa, you start wandering, Prabhrajanti. Then what? Brahmacharyam samapya grihi bhavet, grihat vani bhutva pravrajet, यदि वा इतरथा ब्रह्मचर्यादेव प्रव्रजेत गृहाद् वा वनाद् वा. Okay, so now this Jabala Upanishad, what it says, you complete brahmacharya, you study the Veda, etc., then you become a grihi, grihastha, grihi bhavet. Then from being a grihastha you become a vani, you take vanaprastha, vani bhutva. Then again pravrajet, you become a sannyasi. Or it also gives an option, yadi va, otherwise what, itarata brahmacharya deva, so you can become a sannyasi from brahmacharya ashrama itself or from grihastha ashrama. So brahmacharya deva pravrajet grihat va vanad va, or even as a grihastha ashrami you can become a sannyasi, or you can become a sannyasi being a vanaprasthi also. So again, keeping this in mind only, we even have this in South Indian, I don't know, in Tamil weddings at least we have this Kashi Yatra. So when we were studying in our college, we had another Kashi Yatra. The cultural festival in our college was called Kashi Yatra. But in our weddings also we have a Kashi Yatra. Means the brahmachari wants to go to Kashi and study the Shastra and become a sannyasi. Okay, so he is taking a book and then like a sannyasi, he is taking, he is dressed and all that, and he wants to go. But then the bride's father will go and say, no, you don't go to Kashi. You have to marry my daughter and become a grihastha and all that, and then you agree, and then you marry. Okay, like that. This custom is there in I don't know whether it is in South Indian weddings or only in Tamil weddings, but we have this Kashi Yatra here. So you can, so that means what? You can become a sannyasi from brahmacharya itself if you have the vairagya and all that. Okay. Otherwise, the sannyasa ashrama is the worst. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogata, like that Bhagavan has said. So in Kali Yuga, it is better. We have seen enough. Therefore, you should have certain maturity, emotional maturity, and vairagya. All these things are very essential. Without that, if you take to sannyasa ashrama and all that, it will become a very big problem for you. It will become a problem for others also. So that is very important anyway. So when the Upanishad says brahmacharya eva pravrajet, there that brahmachari has to be an exceptional brahmachari, in fact. Okay. In fact, that's why my Guruji also used to actually encourage everybody to get married. Even after doing 3-year course and all with him, he used to get his students married, in fact. Whoever was capable of working and all that. In fact, he used to even joke with us. I give sannyasa to only those people who are no more fit to work and they cannot do anything else. Like that, he used to joke. Whether he was joking or whether he was thinking really like that, I don't know. But at least he used to say that to us. So he has got many of his students married that way because he also felt that certain growth is, that emotional growth and all is very important, and that will come by becoming a grihastha, correct? By taking responsibility and also to adjust with your partner and all that. That will make you grow. In fact, that's a big thing. So grihastha ashrama should not be looked down upon or anything. It is the pillar of our dharma anyway. The grihastha ashramis only are supporting all the other ashramas, and also it is the way, correct? It is the normal way, at least. Forget about the exceptional cases. They can do whatever they want. But initially, what here also it is saying, brahmacharyam samapya grihi bhavet grihat vani, and then vani bhutva pravrajet. So that is the best thing. So sannyasa is the best retirement option. That Swamiji used to say. That also my Guruji used to say, the best retirement plan is, by that time you should have this Vairagya and Viveka and all that. Best retirement plan is sannyasa. Take to sannyasa as a retirement plan. At least we have to take Vanaprastha. Okay. That is our tradition. Don't hold on to everything till 90 years or something. Afterwards, studying Vedanta and all is not possible. Okay. Once your Indriyas are all not working properly, then you cannot come to this. It's very difficult. So, anyway, here this option is there. Another lifestyle is talked about. Similarly, another one. Dvaveva panthanau anunishkrantatarau bhavataha kriyapataschaiva purastat sannyasascha tayoho sannyasaha eva atirechayati. So, this is from Taittiriya Aranyaka. So, there are two paths it is talking about. Okay. And there is a kriya patha, the path of doing activities. And then what? Sannyasascha, and sannyas also is there. And then what? Amongst the two, tayoho sannyasaha eva atirechayati. So sannyasa is better, like that the Upanishad is saying. Of course, for the one who wants moksha, sannyasa ashrama is the prescribed one. So the Vividisha sannyasa also is talked about. Of course, Vidvat sannyasa, now Yajnavalkya and all is going for Vidvat sannyasa here. So sannyasaha eva atirechayati iti. Another one is what? Na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage neike amritatvama nashuhu. This we chant whenever a sannyasi comes and we give Purna Kumbha and all that, correct? So this is there in the this Taittiriya Narayana Upanishad, or it is there in Kaivalya Upanishad also, this particular mantra. So like this there are there. So Tyaga alone is the Amritatva sadhana and all that it is said here. Tyaga means again it is talking about Karma Tyaga and Sannyasa only. So you cannot get it through Karma or Praja or Dhana. Amritatvam, for Amritatvam you have to give up. In fact, you give up all your limitations, then you will discover yourself as the limitless, correct? So giving up, so it may seem counterintuitive, but that is the beauty, correct? By giving up, how can I get the limitless? If you ask, the limitless has to be already there, correct? So the problem is that you don't have to gain the limitless newly. By ignorance, you are holding on to the limited. So give up all the limited things, including your individuality and ego. That's all you have to do. Give up, give up, give up, give up. Yena tyajati tatyaja. Finally, by which you are giving up, give up that also. Because there is no reality to that also. It's not intrinsic to you. Give up everything. And then you will discover that I am the limitless. I have given up all the limitations, association, all limited identities I give up. Identification with the body, mind, sense complex is the bane, is the problem. Give up all those identities, then you will rest as this Atma. So that is the only thing. So Tyaga is the main thing. Tyaga, Vairagya are the most important thing for Atma Jnana. So Tata Smritayascha, not only the Shruti, there are a lot of Smritis. Brahmacharyavan Pravrajati. So this is the Apastamba Dharma Sutra. So the Apastamba Dharma Sutra has an interesting Adhyatma Patala also. I have taken classes even on that. So it has a section on Adhyatma with reference to the Atma Vidya also. It has a section. And interestingly, that section is there under the Prayaschitta. The beginning of the Prayaschitta portion, this Atma Vidya is placed. And Bhashyakara, Shankara is supposed to have written a vritti for that portion alone. The Adhyatma Patala, it is there. And Shankaracharya says, why it is coming, this Atma Vidya, why should it come under the section of Prayaschitta? Means Prayaschitta, why do you do? To resolve some papa and all that, correct? To take care of your karma. But what is the best way of taking care of all your karma? Whether it's papa or punya, etc. means Atma Jnanam alone. Because Atma Jnanam removes the kartrutvam itself from you. So there is no question of any punya karma, papa karma, everything is gone. So the greatest prayaschitta is this Atma Jnanam. Nothing else is required really. So like that, here the Apastamba Dharma Sutra also says Brahmacharyavan Brahmrajati. So the one who, here the Brahmacharyavan, one who has Brahmacharya, can be taken in two ways. Brahmam Charati, one who really wants to know this Brahman, and one who is having the sadhana chatushtaya, that person takes to this sannyasa. Okay, that is a better meaning actually. Or if you take it as the one who has done the brahmacharya very well and one who has viveka vairagya, that person can take. Then what? Avishirna brahmacharya yam icchantam avase. Here also. So avishirna brahmacharya. Charya means what? One who is perfect in his brahmacharya, one who is excellent. So whatever he desires, he can take to that ashrama. Yam icchantam avase. Okay. Then this is also, these are all again tasya ashrama vikalpam eke bruvate Gautama Dharma Sutra. It is. So Gautama also is saying there is a ashrama vikalpa. There is an option. So you can become a grihastha ashrami or you can become a sannyasi like that. There is a vikalpa is there. And further what? This is Mahabharata, Moksha Dharma. What? Tata Vedan adhitya brahmacharyena putra pautran ichet. Okay. So first what you do Vedadhyanam. Then you get married and desire for putra and pautra also. Son, grandson, all that. So children, grandchildren, you desire. Then what? For what means pavanartham pitrinam, because you have a pitri rina. So with reference to the pitris, you have a debt. And how do you fulfill that debt? By creating further progeny, okay? By propagating your kula. So the pitri rina, you take care and you purify them. Pavanartham, pitrinam pavanartham. Then what? Agni nadhaya vidivat cheshta yajnaha. So again what you establish Agni, the three types of Agni and all that. And then as per the vidhi, as mandated, you do all the yajnas also. There are so many, as part of your samskaras, different yajnas you can do. Then after all that, what? Vanam pravishya, then you become a vanaprasthi. Okay, vanam, you enter the vana. Thereafter what? Atha munir bhushe, then what? Then you become a muni. Muni here is again sannyasi only. So like this Mahabharata also is talking about all the four ashramas. And then what? Prajapatyam nirupya ishtim sarva vedasa dakshinam atmani agnin samaropya brahmanaha prabrajet griha. So Manu also is saying this. What? Prajapatyam nirupya ishtim. So Prajapatya, like that, there is a yajna is there, ishti. So that having done that, what? In that you give up everything. Sarva Vedasa Dakshinam means all your wealth you give as Dakshina. Then you don't, once you give up all your wealth, you don't have any money to do anything, correct? So anyway, you have to now take sannyasa. Then what he says, Atmani Agnim Samaropya means, see, till then the Agni was external. Now you take that Agni within yourself, figuratively, and then you go for this Parivrajaka. You become Brahmanaha Parivrajet Griha. So you go away from your home. Like this, Manu also is saying this. So all these Spritis are also there, which are talking about different ashramas. So therefore, what? Evam Vyuthana Vikalpakrama Yateshthashrama Pratipatti Pratipadakanihi Shruti Smriti Vakyani Shatashaha Upalabhyanta Itara Viruddhani. So, so there is a Vikalpa is there, correct? Many options are presented to you. Okay. So, and again, according to your desire and your understanding, you have all these things which are revealed here. Okay, in keeping with that. And for that, different hundreds of Shruti and Smriti Vakyas are there. It is available. And some of them look like they are mutually contradictory also. Itara itara viruddhani. And again, what acharascha tad vidam means, again there are different people are following all these different things which are said in the Shastras. So by looking at also, you are not very clear whom to follow. Therefore, what vipratipattischa shastrartha pratipatrinam bahuvidamapi, those who know a lot, bahuvidamapi, what shastrartha pratipatrinam, those who know the Shastra, meaning of the Shastra, but even among them, what there is vipratipatti is there. Okay, there is no clarity, there is no nischaya. This is this, like that. So there are different opinions are there. Therefore, what is the problem? Ataha na shakyate shastrartaha manda buddhibihi vivekena pratipattum. So those who are not very bright, manda buddhi, for them what this shastrartha is not very easy to understand. What is really revealed by the Shastra? What does the Shastra want me to do? What is good for me? That is ultimately it has to come to that, correct? To know that with discrimination, it is not easy. Therefore, what? Parinishtita Shastra Nyaya Buddhi Bihi Eva Hi Esham Vakyanam Vishay Vibhagaha Shakyate Avadharayitum. So, those who are established, very well established, okay, in the Shastra and the Nyaya also. Those who know the Shastra, those who have logical, analytical skills, okay. So, all the verbal, quant, and anal, like this we used to study for our GRE and all that. So all these skills are required. Verbal skills means you should know Vyakarana, Mimamsa, Nyaya, everything you should know. So those who have all this and those who are intellectuals, you can say, Buddhi Bihi, for them only it is easy to understand all these Vakyas and clearly understand the different things there. Vishaya Vibhagaha, how to understand this and arrive at the conclusion properly, it is only possible for them. Therefore, what he is saying, Tasmat, Yesham Vishaya Vibhaga Jnapanaya Yata Buddhi Samartyam Vicharayishyamaha. So, therefore, now we will do this analysis. For what purpose? To delineate everything clearly. Okay, the Vishaya Vibhaga. Who should do the karma? Then who need not do karma? Who should take to which ashrama? For all that to have clarity according to our own capability and intellect, correct? Yata buddhi samarthyam. We will do this analysis like this. So he is given a he is given a context for the analysis, but basically the analysis is whether karma has to be done or not. Okay, whether you can get freedom from karma and become a sannyasi. That's what we'll be seeing. So that some more bhashya is there. We'll see this in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.